One question I get asked all the time by 3D printing business owners is, Ed, should I get a scanner for my business? And I'm not talking about those ones with an inferior quantity of dimensions, the old-fashioned 2D scanner. We're of course talking about a 3D scanner, which is an incredible piece of tech, especially recently with all the developments. Now, this can be really tempting because often a lot of us who've come from backgrounds where we're really interested in technology, we're good at creating things, and we started our businesses as a bit of an extension of our interests. You know, if we create things, we've got a shop, maybe do some prototyping work, 3D service bureaus and stuff. So this makes sense. But the problem is when we're asked this question or we're thinking about considering buying some new tech, a scanner or whatever it might be, is we need to get back to basics. Now bear with me a second, we need to really focus on what essentially a business is first and foremost, is that the purpose of the business is to create us wealth. As the owner, our business is to create us wealth, among other things, of course, is good as well. But really, for most of us, the reason why we provide us with an income we might not otherwise be able to generate. Now, the way that the business does that is it serves the customer. The customer gets what they want, and then we get what we want as the business owner. So that's how it works. So whenever we're making any decision around the business, it's got to fit in with one of those two priorities in sequence. You know, is this going to help us create more value to the customer? And then in turn, will it benefit the business? And often, if we're really honest with ourselves, when we look at a new piece of tech, a new printer maybe, or whatever it is, CNC routers, all sorts of stuff, we might be thinking, I really fancy using one of those, playing with that at the weekend, rather than, does the customer actually need this? Have they shown evidence that they're willing to pay money for the service that we can then offer with a scanner or the new piece of tech or whatever it is? So when we're tempted by equipment like this, we need to be asking ourselves, what value is this offering to the customer? Does the customer need it? And in many instances, unless a customer has specifically told us that they want this big job doing and we need to scan a lot of different things, which we can't outsource, and it's going to be many times more profit than the cost of the machine, the scanner. Unless that is the situation you find yourself in, the answer is invariably nearly always no. And that's because what we want to be doing instead is focusing on what the customer wants and how we produce it. And if the scanner fits into that, is required into that, then that's fine. If we're trying to fit the scanner into that and thinking, well, we could offer all these other products and services if we've got a scanner, that's the wrong way. That's the cart before the horse. What we want to be thinking is, what does the market want from us that we can provide? And if we need a scanner to do that, invest in a scanner. But otherwise, save you money. This is critical. And I've literally had clients that have invested $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 in 3D printers, all sorts of different types, some pretty expensive equipment, specialized stuff, scanners, all these other things. And it has no viable economic output, or a lot of it doesn't, because what they didn't do was find out, what does the customer need? You know, what's that gap in the market? This is what we do. We always start at step one, is to find out the need for the customer and what they need. The product we can create, businesses that we run, is all about how can we use 3D printers primarily to solve a need that people have out there. It can be really simple, but very specific need often. And we're selling a product that we can sell into that market. And the key difference is, like when you're running a 3D print service, like a bureau or a prototyping company or DesignWorks, every single job that you get in is different. So the client's probably got different expectations. They have a different level of understanding that you have to cater for. You know, maybe the designs aren't right. Maybe they don't have any designs and you've got to do all that. Maybe you end up doing some free work. But every job is different. The only thing that remains the same is you sending out invoices and them sometimes paying them late, if that's an frustration. So what we need to be doing really is working, well, you don't need to do anything, but what we do is we run businesses only when we can systematize it. Because it's not until you can systematize your business can you then scale, and you can disconnect the amount of hours that you're working in your business from the amount of money that you're making as well. And scanners, of course, are messy work. Every object is different. You have to set up the scanner, scanning the thing. There's holes in the 3D model that you've got to repair. That doesn't fit in with a slick, optimized system, whereas printing batches of hundreds of a specific product that maybe it costs you $2 or $3 to print and you're selling them for $25, $30 each, you're making a good margin. That's a business that we can systematize. So before you spend any money in future purchases, whether it's a printer or whatever it is, you need to be asking yourself, is this going to definitely produce profit, or am I speculating with a bias of what I actually enjoy? And really, secretly, I just want the business to be an excuse for me to buy this new toy so that I can play around with it. Because often, if we're being honest with ourselves, that's what the trap that we're falling into. And that keeps us stuck, because not only is it a financial investment that's going in perhaps not an efficient direction for the business, but also it's taking up our time, and it's a distraction, a focus as well. And really, we could have been spending that time finding one or two or a collection of really profitable, very specific products that no one else is really selling yet. So I'd invite you to reflect on those aspects whenever you're making a business decision. You can obviously run your business how you want to run it. If it's just a hobby business on the side, that's fine. You just want to work a couple of hours a week and get a little bit of extra income. But if it's a business you want to build to say $10,000, $20,000 a month in profit to really take your life to new levels, then we need to be thinking along the lines of a business owner makes those quality of decisions. Hope it helps.